Hey everyone, I'll just wait a couple seconds or minute or something. Let's see, it's just 10 o'clock on Friday. Yay, it's Friday, weekend time. Weekend time coming up tomorrow, but anyway, today I'm really excited because we are going to be, good morning Debbie, we are going to be looking at some roses. Aren't they so pretty? So Debbie's on and she's in my area, so she knows the roses are blooming everywhere and we are so lucky. I feel like this, where I live, I'm so fortunate that roses have a very long span here. The only trick is in August, they start to get the black spot and kind of yucky, and so we have to figure that out. Hey Terry and my mom and Karen, and oh yeah, they smell so good. So what I thought we would do today is talk about roses. And for my birthday, I was so excited. My Mark stepmom, where is it? She gave me a gift certificate to David Austin. So my British friends out there, you guys know, David Austin is amazing. And you can find David Austin roses at a lot of nurseries, but you can also order directly online, which I've done. And oh mom, okay, we're going to do a little rose drawing class today, but anyway, you can find these online and they come beautifully packed, and the pricing is pretty much the same as if you were going to get it from another nursery. You just have to pay a little bit of shipping, but there's also discounts. Every once in a while you can find like a 15% off. So I am going to be buying 2 roses today. Yay, and I did my Annie's order yesterday. So I've got flowers happening. So I'm super excited about it. And before I show you guys some stuff, I wanted to, in case it doesn't fit in the camera, but this is a book I borrowed from Joyce. It's Mark's stepmom, and she's the one who loves roses too. And she let me borrow this book, and I found, I drool. In here is gorgeous, but one of the pictures, so it's sort of it's a photograph, but it's almost like an illustration too, so we're gonna be drawing these today. And, you know, everything about roses is incredible. I love them. So what I thought I would do first is show you guys some of these roses I found this morning. So you know, the 365 flower a day I did, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I couldn't even believe it. I was thinking, did I do any roses during that 365? Well, I must have done some roses. Well, I did 13 roses. So we're gonna look at these, and then I'm going to do sort of like how I draw my roses, and maybe that will inspire you guys to draw some roses this weekend. You know, I know that the roses are not in bloom for a lot of places, but you can always look in catalogs, look in books, also Pinterest, and if you're lucky enough, go cut one. Go cut one from your neighbors if you don't have one. I actually went for a walk the other day and I was sniffing somebody's roses, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, I don't think you're supposed to do that during COVID-19, but I did it, and I always smell roses. So hopefully the neighbor's not too annoyed with me. Okay, so hold on, I'm gonna tilt us down and show you guys these, and then I'll do a little drawing, and I'm using for my drawing the Pitt Artist pen today, a size S, so you guys can see it. All right, so hold on. And this is where I'll be drawing. I also am gonna show you guys these in the order of, I just need to make sure I'm situated so I can draw these with you. Okay, so look how funny. This rose might have been this one. This one is called a sunset rose. And I'm wondering if that's, so I went and picked this morning from my garden, and I thought it was just perfect. You know, it's just so beautiful, all of these layers. And they're really, you know, have a lot going on in the roses to draw. So I picked this one so you guys could see it. But so then I started looking at the roses from my 365. So I started this project in April of 2015. So this was in June. And it's done with all of these were done with an XS. And the reason I did that was because I didn't want the lines to be too heavy. I'm wondering if we can go down a little bit. Hold on, I'm gonna, just for this, I'm gonna go like that. So we're a little bit closer. Is that good? Hopefully. Let me get my rose in. No, I don't want to knock the rose over. I probably would, and then we'd have a disaster on our hands. Okay. So I did these with the black pen. Hold on, I'm getting situated. Oh, I had a little class earlier. Oops. I had a little class earlier. Boy, I'm having some trouble. Hold on tight. Okay. Here we go. I think I'm good now. So I did it with the XS, so I didn't want the line to be too heavy. So this was day 40, Sunset Rose. It was done with watercolors. And then this one, day 57, I don't always put the name of the roses on there. I wish I did. So this was probably, you know, a few different layers. And you can tell on these too, like I'm not needing to draw a perfect rose, but what I was trying to do was do the opening and some of the insides that can be so pretty. I love this color. I have quite a few roses in this color. I'm gonna try and order 2 roses today that are not colors that I have. Okay, I wanted to show you guys this because it's so ugly. And I also wanted you guys to realize you can make ugly art. And it's awesome because then you can go look back at it and go, ooh, I like that one better than that one. So I think I was trying to be all fancy and not do black lines. And then as you work on your art, or even if you don't make art, but you like it and you like to look at it, you know, there's just different styles. It's very subjective. I personally may like somebody else's art without the lines, but I don't like it for myself, and I feel like it's not done. And it was probably a day I had a headache and I was trying to rush it or something, because if you recall, this was the challenge I set where I did one flower a day. I should have written notes on the back like I felt crappy or I felt awesome. Okay, so this one was a typical, you know, sweet princess sort of rose, and there must have been a little bench there. So this was again done with the watercolors. This one is a rose that I have that has lots of little tiny buds with it. There's all these different names for the different type of rose bushes, and again I have the pinks. I really like the pinks, but I do the pen first and then I do the watercolor. This one is one of our climbers, and it opens up, and they're all over the place right now. They're so pretty, and so they'll open up and close up pretty fast. And this was done, Joyce's tea roses. So I actually did write her name. So these were her tea roses. She might have given me some. So pretty. Okay, another rose that is probably this one. And one thing I did in here was and you can see it here a little bit. So as I was evolving each day, I sometimes was adding more details to my flower drawings than I did in the beginning of the year when I started. But I did little tiny dots and stipples. So it's called stippling, but they're all they are tiny dots to give a little bit of shadow and some value in there. And then I did a little title. So that one was really fun. Oh, look, and I totally missed this. I missed painting that petal. I have bugs that came out of that rose. They're little tiny bugs. I don't know what kind they are. And then this one was Sunday morning roses. So that was fun. I must have like cut a little bouquet of flowers. And so as you can see, these are flowers. These are roses that are blooming now in April, May, and still blooming in September. They're really pretty. This one was, oh, that's funny. I did a Sunday morning bouquet on 9/13, And then I did a Saturday bouquet. So this is a little mixture of flowers, but these three back here are the roses. I didn't do a lot of bouquets, actually. I think I did maybe 5 or 6 in the whole year. I like the one simple flower drawing. Okay, I have to be honest, I'm not too sure if this is a rose or not, but it kind of reminded me of these. So I thought maybe they were roses. They may not be roses, but they look like them, especially with the leaves. I mean, so did you like that? And then again, this is sort of that, am I straight? This is your typical sweet rose. And then I started getting a little designy, you know, taking a drawing and then putting some graphic elements to it. So making the stripes on the leaves and then making the stripes on the stems. It sort of is a little bit more whimsical, a little Alice in Wonderland kind of fun look to it. And then this one was a big rose, probably like this one. And it had some two tones going on with the oranges and the pinks. That one was really fun. A lot of my flowers too, there's no leaves in here. I just try to keep, this is almost like our mandalas that we did the other day. I just love looking straight into a flower. And I love looking straight into a flower, seeing what's in the middle. And one of the roses today that I'll draw, you'll see how I do that. And there's so much interest and beauty inside of a flower. And sometimes I feel like the leaves can get a little complicated, and it's only a 6 by 6 inch drawing. So anyway, that's why you'll see some of my flowers are like that. And then this one is just a real pretty rose with the lines instead of the dots. I'll show you something. Instead of the dots making the shadow and a little value, you could also do the same thing with lines. So I just use lines to sort of give it some texture and some interest. And I just think the shape of that is so pretty. It reminds me like of a dress and just so beautiful and simple. And so those were the roses, which I thought were fun to show you. This was towards the end of my 365-day challenge. I think it went till the end of April that year, maybe towards, oh, oh my God. It says right here, 344, so 365 minus 344. That's how many days I was till towards the end. That is one thing I did right. I did at least put the day on there so I can kind of go back in time. I got that one out of order. So I can go back in time and just look. It's really fun to date things. Okay, so what I want to do is, I've got my pen. I got a small. And I'm going to just place our book so you guys can hopefully see both. So give me a second. Let me get organized here. You know, if I was doing something that I really wanted it to be perfect, I was making it for somebody, I would, I'm probably going to move the camera in a minute so I can get this in. I would probably do it in a light pencil line. Let's see, I think I'm going to just do it here because of this sun right there. So what like I said, I could do it with a little bit of pencil first, but I'm not. But what I like to do is, for today's little drawing, I'm only gonna really concentrate on this one. And normally I would do them on these little pieces of paper, but I wanted you guys to see, like, so how do I start and how does it all happen? And again, it's free form, so anything could be happening in this picture today. What I'd like to do is look at the middle and think about my composition on my page and how I want it to work. I want to sort of do a big one like just here. And if you're looking at things like on Pinterest, or you find a magazine, or you see a rose in real life, like this one, you can just pick part of it just to get started. So pick part of it. That's a little bug. All right, so I'm gonna do this inside, and I might start to think, okay, where do I want? Do I want a leaf? Maybe I want one leaf and a little bud. So I'm gonna work in this inside, this really cool rose right here. So I'm just going right for it. I might not be able to chat too much as I have to concentrate. But I'm finding the inside shape. And what I like to do is look at things in shapes. So I'm not looking at this like, oh, this is a rose I'm doing. I'm looking at just this section here. It's sort of an eye thing, right? So I'm putting my little inside, and I may go back in and do some detail work, but just for today, I'm just showing you, I'm just doing a little bit of the inside of the rose. That has got some interest, and it's darker in there, right? So now I'm going to start to think about my outside petals. So I'm going to do like, just like the Mandela, I'm going from the middle to the outside. If I was drawing a rose on a piece of paper, I'm going to show you something that was this size, I want to keep in mind how far I want to go on my edges. So if I did a middle piece, visually, just look and see, can it all fit? And if it doesn't fit, maybe you want it to go off the edge, that's fine too. But sort of just think about your paper and make sure you're starting something that's going to fit inside your picture, inside your paper, sorry, and work with your composition. So what I like about this rose in particular is the sort of layering. Roses to me remind me so much of peonies, which I love, love, love. And I just can't grow them here that well. My neighbor has one. So what I'm doing is going around and making these, my eye is following, I'm making these petals. Oops, see I'm already up there, I already screwed up because I'm chatting away. So I'm making these petals overlap. And I'm just pulling out some of these details. I'm not making it all perfect. Nothing should be perfect. But I'm trying to get that sort of layered look. Just going one layer at a time. And thinking about the shape. So this, and the layers, they come on top of each other, right? So I have to kind of watch this line I just made. So I'm gonna fake that there, and I'm gonna start to bring some sort of these layers go over on top of each other, and then some close up like this. And the nice thing about doing it in the pen is you then have your shapes to be able to put some watercolor on them. So you can't see me, but I am looking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm used to taking my hand and following along with my eye. So it's just like anything else, just practice. Don't be bummed if it doesn't look like a rose. So I'm down here. Is that in? Yeah, okay, good. Just checking to make sure. Okay. So I'm going to start to work on my outer layers. And so I'm going outer layer. And this style of drawing too, the way I do mine, it's very forgiving when it's, you know, I'm not trying to draw a perfect rose. I'm trying to draw the petals, the layering, and the shapes. And hopefully when it's done, you guys will be like, oh yeah, that's a rose and not a sunflower. But, you know, it's just for me, it's just a style that I do, and it's not, I'm not trying to do a perfect. And so as I get closer to my end, as the last layer, I want to just really be like, stop and think, okay, is one side too much? Is one side has too much going on? Is it lopsided? So I want to be careful that I'm not going too high. I want to balance this. This rose is definitely pretty circular with a little bit on the outside. So there would be the top part, and I'm going to bring another one there, even though it probably isn't really there, but that's okay because I'm doing that. And then this looks pretty good here. So I want to finish with these ones coming out. So I'm just gonna make those two big like that. And then do this bottom piece that's got an interesting petal opening up. And the trick to do these little flips, I don't know what you want to call it, these the under petals, is I do the inside, outside, and then I go underneath it and just bring a little line right there. So it gives the appearance of the under layers. I'll do another one here. So I've got my petal, and then I go under it so that you're looking, that's the perspective that I'm looking at. So I have my, I can't tell quite yet if it's a little wonky. It might be a little wonky over here, so hold on. Just going to fix my wonkiness. And then I want to look straight down. Sometimes when you're drawing, like I'm drawing back, you kind of can lose perspective. So I want to stop what I'm doing. I want to look down on it and make sure it's pretty circular. And I'm just going to fix a couple pieces here. What I'm going to do now is add a little leaf or two, and then we're going to go in with some, not shading, but some, I'll teach you guys a couple little tricks that I have for some value and some depth in it. So here's my outside shape. What you could do, which I just go for it, but what you could do is you could draw the outside of the rose first in pencil, and then go outside in. But I often find that if I start inside out and just add the layers one at a time, it fits better, because often when I'm doing it this way, I think I want it to be this size, but I've kind of messed up and I want to kind of futz with it a little bit. I have then the room to go outside. Right? If I had my pencil drawing first and I did my black lines on the outside first, then I have no room for error. So it gives me a little bit of a wiggle room. So that's my little cheat. And it worked because I needed that today. So, okay, so now I'm going to do one of these little buds. I'm going to fake this and make it come out a little bit. So I always do the outside of the rose buds first, just sort of like I do the outside of the flower, and then I'm going to put that in there like that, and it looks so weird that looks like a sword or something, not a sword, but you know. Now I'm going to make my leaves, and rose leaves are a little jagged. This is where you can do anything. You can, if for some reason your rose was a little wonky, throw a couple leaves back there to balance it out. So I am doing this leaf right here. And there's a little underside to that leaf. Okay, so I got that there. I might do another one of these little buds. And I'm going to put one leaf here. Hopefully you can still see this. And you could then, you know, start to really expand it if you wanted to. If you want, you can add the stem. I'll just do the stem. I don't do a lot of stems, but I'm just going to add it in here for you guys. I just sort of remember with stems, they're a little thicker on towards the top. There's a lot other flowers in here, so that's just, I'm just going to throw that in there. But if you were going to do the whole drawing, just remember it gets thinner as you go down. And so now I'm going to do some of my sort of detail work. So on the leaves, I will always do the middle first. Get that middle in there. Sometimes I get, when I'm painting, if I don't have the middle in there, I think it's part of the flower and I've really messed some stuff up there. So now I'm going to, it's a little bit weird, you know, but I'm only doing this quickly. I probably would put another rose here and here because I've added the leaves and stuff like that. But anyway, you guys get the point. And for these little buds, I'm going to go in with my pen and just make it a tiny bit darker in there. And how I'm doing that are just with these lines. Think of drawing a rose like you guys do your Zentangles. I'm just adding a little bit of lines to these stems. And the great thing about these pens in particular and the microns that I love is that you can do all of this work, all of these lines, and paint over it, and it will not smear. You won't have to worry about getting some black. Because some markers, if you add paint to it, are going to smear and then you've messed everything up. But if you put some watercolor paint over this, the black's going to stay as permanent. Waterproof. So I'm going on the inside and I'm doing the stippling. Oh my gosh, when I was in college, it was like my favorite thing to do was stipple. I would stipple, stipple, stipple everywhere. And it's very meditative. You can just sort of zone out. Stipple away. The more you stipple on top of yourself, on top of your painting or your picture, the darker that area becomes. So if you want it to be darker in the center, do more dots. And then I just do a tiny bit when I'm coming out of the center. Okay, so I've got my center going on and then my little buds, and now I'm going to show you how I go in and get some definition in between the petals. So there's two ways you can do that. You can do the dots. Let's find that again. Like this. So you can go in and you can do the dots. And then when you do the watercolor, you can also add darker paint and really make that pop together. So you're using two different methods to really bring some shadow. Some darker color of your paint and some dots. And so how to get the watercolor effect is once you paint, you take your brush and you start the paint in the darkest point, and then you add either a little bit of water or by the time you get over here, the paint has gotten lighter. So maybe we'll do that again in one of these lives and I'll show you if you guys want me to do that. I won't do it today. I don't even have everything out, so that's okay. So I'm going to go in and find some areas that I think are darker and go with that first. I sort of just kind of haphazardly look. Okay, so I think I'm going to go in and make this darker in here. So I want to do the lines on here to bring, so the rose is going like this, right? So it's going around like a cup, like that. So I'm going to bring my lines this way. I wouldn't do vertical lines on this. I'm sort of just looking at this little petal and I'm bringing some shadow to the darker parts, okay? So it's coming towards the light's here, and so I'm bringing some shadow right there. There's shadow underneath this one, so then I'm gonna go this way. So when I do this type of line drawing, I always start at the actual line itself to get the shadow going. So I know that it's darker where the petals are touching each other. I hope that made sense. Okay, so you can already see there's some definition happening there as opposed to this side. So I won't do it all because we'd be here all day, but I'm gonna do some more. So again, when you're at this point, it may be kind of hard to even separate what's in shadow, what's not, and that's when you go back to really looking and studying your either real rose or your Pinterest picture or catalog picture. So here's the center, and again, I'm going to go in and I'm going towards the light. It's like a little maze. You can get really stuck in here. This is a little bit like our doodle roses, those drawings that we were doing. It's just a little bit more, not sophisticated, but it's just a little bit more thought through, but it's the same sort of idea. So I'm going this way and I'm hitting the bottoms. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, didn't fall. Good. Ah! Oh, pfft. Well, the good news is, you guys, my rose is okay. Oh my God, that was so funny. It's probably so much lighter now. Okay, I'm not going to pick it up quite yet. I'll do that later. I'm going to continue working as if nothing ever happened. I'm sure you guys are laughing your butts off. I know my mom is. So I'm glad, Mom, I gave you a little laugh today. Okay, so where was I? Now I've got this big shadow going across here, but you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to do a few more. One of the reasons too where I don't like doing pencils all the time is because it takes so long. Look how long this takes, right? This takes a long time. And if I did pencils, I would, for me, I'm just trying to get on with it and get to the painting part, which I love. You can also do this line work after you've done your painting. So I'm just going to hit some of these leaves for a second so you can see how I do my leaves. But you can do your rose a number of ways. You can do your rose, I don't like to do it this way, but I'm going to show you. You can paint your rose and then do the black lines, or you can do the black lines, you can paint your rose, and then you can go in with all of these little details. That's fun. You should try them. You should try all those ways. See what you like. All right, so I'm going to do this leaf right here. And I'm not going to go do all of these little lines. I just want to give it a little bit of definition so that it doesn't blend with the petals. So I'm just doing my leaves. And, a rose has lots of different lines going through it, going this way and that way. But for my leaf, I just want to do some basic lines. All right, I'll do this one up here and then I'll chat with you guys about some other stuff. So that's my little rose demo. Okay, so a couple things. Start in the middle. I mean, this is the way I do it. Start in the middle. Keep looking back and forth between your image and your painting and your drawing. I'm doing this about the same size, but you can certainly make them smaller or bigger. And then get used to your eye hand coordination. The more you look and draw, going back and forth is only going to get better with practice. And that's sort of what I did with those 365 drawings. And then I like to go inside out because then I can fake or futz with some outer leaves. Sort of, I can really, if I make some mistakes, I can kind of cover them up that way. Often I don't do my leaves, but I just did these because I wanted to show you how I do them. Because I really do like having something centered like this one. Whoopsie. But then you can see these leaves here to add a lot of fun because I put the rose on this angle. So, all right, I'm gonna flip us around. You don't even want to see my floor right now. Oh my God, you guys, that's so funny. Hopefully this will not drop. Okay. Oh, Nancy's on there. Hey, Nancy. I used to babysit Nancy's kids. Oh my God. I just have to say, you guys, this is really funny. Nancy, she had just had a brand new baby and asked me to babysit her brand new baby. And it was like, I don't know, I must have been like 13 or 14 years old. Isn't that crazy? And not to make Nancy look like a crazy woman that she left her baby. She had something she had to do. And my mom came over too. They lived on my street. But anyway, it was awesome. Okay. Couple things I wanted to share with you guys is that my class, Colorful Joy, has 1 week left of the discounted rate. It's $20 off, and it's only good for 1 more week, and then the price goes up. And this is on a woman, Jean Oliver, who I love and admire, and I've taken a lot of her classes, and she's the host, so she's in charge. But 1 week left. And I know you guys, a lot of you guys have signed up, so I'm so grateful. But I've gotten some questions on the supply of the canvas, so I thought I would show you guys today. The canvas, let's upside down. Oh boy, I swear it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. I have not had anything to drink except 2 cups of tea. Maybe that's my problem. So anyway, on my canvas, I use this is an inch, okay? This is an inch. Sandra, oh, so good. Sandra signed up. I use an inch canvas. This is the back. And this one for the class is 11 by 14. And the only reason it's 11 by 14 was so I could get the whole class in the camera. I didn't even use my phone. I used a professional video. You guys are gonna love it. And I wanted to make sure you could see everything I was doing. If I was doing this at home, I might go a tiny bit bigger because a lot of the layers are abstract and a lot of the layers are intuitive and you're just having fun and flowing and it's gonna be awesome. So you might wanna do a 16 by 20. So I just wanted to let you know that I've had some questions, and if you guys have any questions on the supplies or the class before you wanna sign up, email me, message me, all of that stuff. I'm completely available. Okay, and then the other thing I want to tell you is I know I love doing these Facebook Lives and I'm still going to do them, but I'm going to do them once a week. And I decided I'll do them for now. You guys could tell me if this time doesn't work, we'll figure out a different time. I'm going to do Mondays at 10. I thought Mondays at 10 would be good because I would have done a weekend's worth work of art and I would have been able to come up with a really fun thing to show you and share with you on Monday. So that's sort of why. And I'm also going to be doing them on Instagram, something totally different, a different chat, a different lesson, a different whatever. And so I am still doing 2 a week. It's just that I have so many exciting projects that I want to work on and I need to do them. So I need to get to work. So I have at least 4 more class ideas up in here and I need to get them on here and then get them out to you guys. So I'm really super excited, and that's why I want to do that sort of thing where I do like Monday morning chat with you guys with a cup of tea and share what I'm doing. And then the Instagram one, I'm not too sure of the time. It might be a little bit more impromptu. Okay, and so lastly, I sent out my newsletter this morning, and I have done it on a brand new, what do you call it? Brand new company, and I loved it, and it was fun, and it's new branding and new colors. If for some reason you guys didn't get it and you've signed up already for it, check your junk, your spam, because every business, I know all my artist friends, all the newsletters that we sign up for go into your junk until you take that contact and you say, like, they're not crazy and they're my friend and da-da-da. So do that if you want, and if you haven't signed up, hop on over to my website and you just put in your name and you get a free downloaded print of mine. And I don't bombard you with a lot of junk. I just do a once a week little, here's some stuff, here's some videos, and fun things like that. So check it out, because I was so excited. It was so pretty, and anyway, so I did that. And I'm just so excited you guys came today and watched my little demo, even though I had a little blip. Okay, last but least, our Friday, is that Debbie? Thanks, Debbie. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about my class too. And when we do our Facebook Lives on the private class, on the private group, I'll ask all of you guys what time works for you guys then, because I don't know. I'm here every day in my studio, and my kids probably are still sleeping, and I just live out here, so I'm available anytime, day or night. Okay, so I'm picking out my card. Oh, this is a good one. Aren't they all good? Have I ever chose a bad one? Okay. I choose to learn through love. Isn't that awesome? I love that. It's so true, right? I was just on a business call right before I got on this one, and it's all about, your passion, your love, and all of that stuff when you're working even in your business. So anyway, I have no lifetimes. Debbie, yeah. Well, the thing is, we may not think we have a life, but we're going to have a life back soon. We're out in, Debbie's near me, and so we are still sheltering in place, and our beaches were shut down because everybody took advantage of them, and I'm hoping they open those up a little bit, and anyway, and that you guys are all well, and you're safe, and you're happy. And I really, really, really appreciate you guys coming, and I'm sorry about the blooper. I can't bloop that out, and I will see you guys Monday at 10 a.m. and we'll have something really fun to chat about, okay? Love you guys. Thanks for coming and watching that long demo. Okay, bye.